Good morning, everyone. Here it is, August 22nd, 2018. I'm going to start saying the date, I think, whenever I start my lives, because then it helps me later go, what day did I publish that? But I do put it on our YouTube channel, okay? So for those of you who are not part of our YouTube channel, get on there, because I'm going to start really getting some things on there, and I'm going to really start doing, some lives. And I've got videos and I've got pictures and some really neat things on there. So check it out. Actually, I used to do videos like iMovies. The only reason I don't do those anymore is because I don't have music on my phone. And so I haven't bought music or anything. And they really sound better if they have the music. But there's several on there. I did, hey, Amy, good morning, that I did back in the day. And well, I say back in the day, about a year and 2 years and maybe 2.5 years back in the day. It just seems like we've been doing this for a long time. We have had inmate support, incarcerated loved ones on Facebook since, let's see, the very first of 2014. Okay, so we're almost at our 5 years. In January will be our 5 years, and I'll tell y'all later about that. But I always have, people say, well, how can I advocate? What can I do to advocate? How can I get started? I don't know how to get started. I don't know really what to do. I don't feel like I'm really helping. So I want to tell y'all, good morning, Jenny. I want to tell y'all our story, okay? Inmate support. So if you're watching this on YouTube or one of the other state pages, just let me make that clear. We do have state pages, and a lot of times I will share these lives on there. So if you're, let's say you're at Inmate Support California or Inmate Support Florida or Georgia or wherever you are, we do have a main page, because not everybody that's on our state pages realize that that's on our, on our large page that started originally. So that is Inmate Support Incarcerated Loved Ones on Facebook, okay? And then all the other ones has inmate support and then the state behind it. So if you catch this on one of those other channels, that's why, all right? But on YouTube, we are Inmate Support, and on Twitter, we're Inmate Support 5. Not that there's a 1 or 2, it just wouldn't let me, it made me use a number. So Inmate Support 5 on Twitter. And we are working on a website and some other things. But what I wanted to share with y'all, good morning, Sue, is our story about how and what our card ministry even is, okay? So are y'all ready? Because this is a awesome story that I'm about to tell y'all. Let me take a drink of coffee on that one. Yes. Hey, Carla. I am drinking out of a Christmas cup, but see, around here it doesn't matter. We live in the forest, in the woods, and whatever cup we grab is the cup that we drink are. So you will see. And I am drinking coffee. Usually by now I'm on to green tea or water, but I am having a cup of coffee with y'all, okay? So everybody grab your coffee, and I'm going to tell you an amazing story, okay? So I did write a few little things down. So if you see me kind of looking over here, that's what it is, because I didn't want to forget a couple things. So in June of 2015, okay, my mom is Betty. If you don't know, Betty Davis, she's on this page all the time, but she's like a huge advocate for prison reform. So she's not with us as much because she's doing a million, trillion, billion other things. But she is an advocate, and neither one of us were when this started. And even though I have had a loved one in the system 33, 34 years off and on, but mostly on, I never really knew like how to actually advocate and how to be a voice. Even though I look back now and I was doing stuff all those years and I didn't even realize it. Okay, so June 2015, my mother gets a, I don't even know how they kind of hook up, but my mom messages me. She's like, you got to meet this lady. And when you say meet on social media, that means through Messenger or, whatever. But she said, you've got to talk to this lady. She's awesome. Her son is incarcerated, and she wants to start like writing to a couple of other inmates. Just for something to do, because I'm going to tell y'all that exactly what I'm about to tell y'all. She did, and I'm going to tell y'all who and everything in just a second. She did the same thing I did. I started out writing to inmates and just drowning myself into that, okay? And that turned into a publication. I have a book. I have several, but I have one on Amazon that you can get it, and Barnes & Noble. It's called Locked Up from Both Sides of the Wire. And I just took that first couple of years when we moved up here to the mountains after my son was already incarcerated, a couple of years, to just to start using that mail in a productive way for me, to help me, okay? So it's, so I start writing to inmates, and I get a post office box, and I mean, we're getting letters back. We start getting, 2 letters a day, 3 letters a day, 5 letters a day, 10 letters a day. And we were like, whoa, it was just my husband and I. My husband was busy. And so it was really mainly, me. And at that time, writing to the inmates. So it was like perfect timing because this is about when it started exploding for me. And so, and I was praying like, God, I want to write all these inmates, but I can't just sit and write inmates all day because I have kids, I have a husband, and I have, work part-time, and I just have a lot of things going, and I was trying to get these publications out and stuff. So I'd been praying about it, okay? And so that's why I want to back up just a little bit to let y'all know. First, just kind of pray about it and say, God, I don't really know, but I know I want to help. I want to make a difference. I want to be a voice. What do I need to do? And I'm telling y'all, you will be pointed in the right direction. So it was Mary Garrison, okay? If y'all haven't seen her on our page, Mary Garrison came just out of the sky is what I say. God sent her. And my mother, so I messaged Mary, and Mary's like, yeah, I want to write to, a few inmates. Do you mind sharing some addresses with me? And I'm like, no way. I could just tell by the conversation. This lady was just like, A-okay. She was amazing. And we started sharing our story and stuff with each other. And so Mary started taking kind of the load off of me, and it was such a blessing to me, but it was more of a blessing to Mary because she continues to write me, message me almost daily. And she's like, I don't have enough addresses. I don't have enough addresses. And I'm thinking, man, I don't want to pile this woman with addresses, but I have addresses. I have a lot of addresses. So it starts growing, y'all. It starts growing. Well, then Mary, it starts growing at her church, and Mary starts asking, people at the church start seeing, wow, she's getting inmate letters. And this was a course of probably the first 3 or 4 months, okay? It just started growing. It started going from, she wasn't getting letters at all. And she's kind of discouraged. I'm like, trust me, you will get letters back. So she kind of went to her church and asked them, could some of y'all help me? And this was all at this time self-supporting. And Mary was just doing this. And a lady named Julia, okay? I don't know exactly how they got hooked up, but it was in church. But a lady named Julia, we love you because Mary's always kept us updated about what her and Julia were doing and what was done. And because this ministry started growing, you guys, and their church started funding some of this. And they started sending people, and they started sending helpers and workers, and inmate letters were flooding in. And then they started presenting it to the church, and it's part of their budget now, okay? But Julia came along first with Mary, and they would sit for hours, and they would just send these cards out. And it's not a pen pal program, okay? We do have a pen pal program, and that stemmed out of this card program, okay? And that's what I wanted to tell y'all is you never know what's going to happen. Because when we started out, it was me writing, and then Mary, I was sharing the address with her. Well, then Cindy, Sue, who does our pen pal program, she came along and just started taking the address and putting them into a spreadsheet. So we kind of knew who we were sending cards to. And some people wanted to be pen pals. Some people wanted cards. Well, it had gotten so big, Julia and Mary were working this, and they recruited Sherry and Jerry, and they were originally with them. And do you know that Sherry didn't even want to share her name with these inmates because it's scary. You go, oh, she just didn't want to sign her name. She, probably God bless you, much love. We're thinking of you. We're praying for you. These are cards. And do you know how many stories we got that, to Mary or I got that said these cards came exactly when these inmates needed them most, exactly when they were so down. They just needed, that sign that we've all had, that sign that you just want to know God's there. Something is there to give you hope, to give you, these guys and gals, we have women as well. We have, people, it's not. And so, but this wasn't like a pen pal, this was more send somebody in a card of encouragement in the time of need. So we branched it out. We branched it off. The pen pal program is something separate. That is somebody you commit to for writing, once a month. The card, good morning, Debbie. The card, hey, Carla. The card ministry, though, was just that. It was a card ministry, okay? Oh, do you see one of my locked up from both sides? If you see one of those, grab one of those. So then Sherry and Jerry came along, and you guys, they've seen dozens saved. They've seen thousands encouraged. They've seen, they haven't had much problems with people writing back, and they've had a few ask for money and a few, but you know what? We're not letting a few bad apples spoil this card ministry. Do you know, okay, that these women, Sherry, who didn't want to sign her name, sends 550 to 600 cards a month, y'all. Okay. This all stemmed from inmates supporting incarcerated loved ones. Okay. And I'm not saying this ever in a bragging way. I don't ever want anybody to, but I want to share with y'all to let you know one person can make such a difference. I heard yesterday, I was listening to Perry Stone. He's a really, really good theology is what he teaches. It's more like dig in the Bible. And do you know, he said, if 7 people tell 7 people encouragement, let's just say encouragement, okay? He was talking about if they tell him about God, and then it becomes, 49 people, and then it becomes, because it becomes huge, okay? But if also on a negative end, if 7 people show 7 people how to do drugs, those 7, that turns into 49, and that goes into a negative, plague. But what I'm getting with that is, can you imagine thousands that have been affected by this card ministry, okay? We always want people who we want to send cards. Do you know we've had people just message me and go, hey, I just want to send, 5 cards this month. I don't want to be a pen pal. I don't want to write people. I just want to send 5 cards this month. You know what I'm saying? So we're actually going to have a big card drive in around Christmas time. I don't know yet. I was going to talk to Mary and Cindy Sue and see what they think, like how many we should do as a goal. And those who can't write, we just do a stamp drive. And if you want to send, whoever's, kind of putting that together, it was Mary and Cindy last year. You do just send the stamps to them if you can't send the cards. But I'm telling y'all, these cards are an absolute blessing. Thousands of people have really come out of there encouraged, okay? So please go with your gut. If something's telling you, you know what, send a card and send an inmate a card. And you might go, oh man, he's never going to we're not asking. That's why it's a card, okay? If you don't have a return address, we can work that. I think if you do it with the card ministry, maybe we can do it with Mary, with her church. I'll talk to her. But I just want to tell Mary, and I want to tell Julia and the other ladies that have worked with them over the past 3 years, thank you so much. You're such a blessing. You're so loved by so many, and it's just amazing that that you guys you women had taken the time. Julia, right now, I know if you're listening to this, I know that you've been sick. We've been praying for you. I know you've been in the hospital. But I just want to say God always has a plan. God always has a plan. And I want us to trust God no matter what his plan is with Julia and your life and the things that are going on. God loves you, and you did the work of Jesus. And that's, to me, and to him, that is what matters, is what we go out and we do. I posted something the other day that said what we do when there's no reward for us whatsoever for someone, that's compassion. That's, that is when you humble yourself. And so I just want to say thank you. Let's see. How do I get my son on the card list? Yes, put your name in here, okay? I will promise you, yes, we have a P.O. box, Debbie. We always had a P.O. box. Actually, I'm in the process right now of getting a different P.O. box, so I will have that if anybody wants that with our full ministry. Put me down 5 cards. Yes, Annie, that'll be awesome. We do a Christmas, but we're going to start around, the 1st of November this year, okay? Yes, Carla. See, Carla's son gets them. Hey, Maureen. But we've got to keep each other's, loved ones encouraged. And I just want y'all to know that it works, okay? Mary, you're such a blessing. God used you. And I know you always say, no, this was God. You always tell me that. But God has used you to make the difference in so many people's lives, okay? And Julia and Sherry and Jerry and all the women. You guys have t-shirts now and that you deliver things in, and it's just unbelievable. You guys, we have a church in San Antonio. Heather is started that they started a group in the name of Inmate Support. Hey, if you're part of a church, get involved. Start a group that people who have incarcerated loved ones meet once a month, once a week, that they get together, that they have. If you need help with that, we have help with that as well. So, we're here. We just want y'all to know that we're all in this together, and take care. But I wanted to give y'all the story of how our card ministry started and how amazing it has become. Thousands of cards are being sent a month. I'd say up to about 1,000 a month now is being sent. So good job, ladies. Have a great day and peace out.